you know what's coming.
Your daily deep dive into everything Utah Jazz.
It's time!
All season long and even in the offseason, it's Jazz Daily with JJ and Alex on your exclusive home of Utah Jazz basketball. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Hey, this is an appropriate song coming back for the coach, man. I bet this guy's jammed out to some Chris Cornell in his day. Look, as a Seattle guy, you know what I mean? It feels right that we're playing this today. Did you do this on purpose? Some Seattle band action? Good job, Christian.
He does know it.
He kind of half nod. He goes,
yeah, of course. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's like, I did not just press the button on the rotator. I'll tell you that. No.
Wait. Okay, who built the rotator?
Okay. So months ago, you had a premonition that at some point, Soundgarden would come back around. You'd be filling in for Alex Napolis in that very moment.
Let's just say they got a lot of different uses.
Good job. There you go.
I see it.
Joining us on the program right now, he knows how to rock out. He's Tim LaComb, the coach, joining us here on the program, pre-half and post for the Utah Jazz. Coach, what's going on, man?
Hey guys, to make it even a little weirder, I would say that my aspiration in life is to be Chris Cornell. Like he's the dude.
Yeah,
so,
that voice is iconic, man.
Yeah, and that music they made in so many different bands. Like he just kind of jumped around, and much like Grohl, just a jack of all trades, a poet, philosopher. So yeah, that was a great call. That's my guy. So there must have been some synapses firing somewhere.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The universe brought us together today with Chris Cornell. May he rest. All right. Tim, we got to see Triple J for the first time in action with the Jazz. I always wonder what guys are going to look like when you hand them a new jersey and you say, hey, get to work. And by the way, let's build some chemistry here with Lauri Markkanen. But it seemed that they worked really, really well for game number one together.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you can see coach's dream is to have some versatility. And the Jazz are going to have that. And I think last game was a great example. Desmond Bing had to guard either Lowry or JJJ, and he's given up 6-7 inches to each, and a bunch of size, bunch of strength. So Will instantly second play of the game runs a little screen that involves those guys, and Desmond Bing gets buried behind Jaren Jackson. He scores right at the rim. So when you can attack mismatches on the regular, which I think the Jazz will be able to do with these lineups, it's going to get really, really interesting really quickly. And the other thing that, everybody's crying about the defense for 4 years, 28 paint points through three quarters the other night.
That's great.
Defense is big time about X's and O's are great, but Jimmy and Joe's are better. And the Jazz have a little bit more oomph on the defensive side, with the size that Jaren brings.
Man, yeah, I agree with you. Front court, versatility is epic, because when you get your point forwards and you get guys that can be out on the perimeter and even block to block, be able to do their own little pick and roll game down low in the mid range or whatever, it's just awesome. But for me, I just want to get down to just what's going on. What's the Jazz doing here? They had an epic lead and then just fumble of putting guys on the bench. I know it's what everybody's talking about, but what is your tankathon impression in what's going on here and how Jazz are going about it?
Well, I mean, I think it's pretty well documented that the Jazz have a almost fiscal responsibility in a lot of ways. This is a
business
decision that was inherited, that they inherited from a previous, group that was running things. And, this pick and the strategy and everything else, I don't love, I grew up in the 80s NBA where it was like hair and blood and eyeballs. But I think, just like, you look back on your college days, Sly, how much money you made in NIL. The bottom line is
I don't think about that at all.
Yeah, I bet you don't. But I guess my point is, as things change and evolve, so does strategy. And while it's not the greatest thing in the world.
Right.
I think now with this trade, at least it's digestible because you can see, there in everybody's mind, there was quote unquote no plan the entire time. Well, the plan is based on a team like Memphis absolutely self-destructing, and have to move pieces for no other reason than they have to move them. Mm-hmm. They're moving a high character guy, they're moving a former All-Star. So I think seeing that in the lineup, seeing that paired with Lowry and what that can be, I'm almost calling these 30 games the pre-training camp because I think Will be able to try a ton of things, and he has never shied away from starting guys, or finishing games with different guys. So, I guess for the rest of us, that's kind of the way we got to view it.
Key, obviously, they're kind of rolling him out as slow as they can to make sure that ankle can stay together, and they want to make sure that they're doing it right. He had 13 minutes the other night. I'm sure he's chomping at the bit to be able to see what he can do also with Triple J. But when he is healthy, what's that going to do, like from an X's and O's on the basketball court? How's that going to help Key's game and Jaren Jackson Jr.'s game kind of at the same time? Those two guys, what can that layer be when they're both on the court and healthy?
Well, so the first part of that, Keontae rolled that ankle really severely in the game the other night. It's same ankle, and he tweaked it the first night. It was fortunate it wasn't a crazy roll the first night, but he rolled it over, and he actually wanted to go back in the game, but that's two rolls of the same ankle, and I would imagine that we're not going to see him, until after the All-Star break. But with him in the lineup, and again, let's just say for fun's sake that it's Ace Bailey and Lowry and JJJ and Walker, I think, first of all, you look at the offensive side, and what you're looking for is gravity. You're looking for, when you put a scouting report together, the key to a game is, when you're defending, is how many times do we have to put two guys on one to solve a problem. And sometimes you have to double a ball handler, you have to double the post. And so really schematically, the Jazz, just by virtue of their personnel, create a major problem for other teams to have to adjust to. So the Jazz already kind of out of the gate are going to have an advantage in a lot of areas. Keontae is just one of those guys with a whole lot of gravity. The fact that he can distribute the ball the way he does, and he's so willing to pass, almost 7 assists a game, but then his efficiency spiked this year. And so I think all those things are great because you run ball screen with he and Lowry, or he and Jaren. People have to make decisions, and, they're going to put two on the ball. You're going to move it really quickly, and you've got shooters everywhere. So with those guys out there, in my mind, Lowry's an all-star already, Jaren's an all-star already, and Keontae's had an all-star year. Man, that's a lot of great opportunity. Man, on the defensive end, it's all about length. The Jazz will be so long. Just their wingspan, and that's a lot of defense is presentation. You can make up a lot. Just like football, it's speed. Mm-hmm. In basketball, it's length. So you can make up for some things with length, and then you throw in the dominant rim protector that Walker is, and what Jaren can do from the weak side. He's blocking almost 2 shots a game right now. You start to think, man, if they can really put this thing together, all this experience Flip's got, all this experience Collier's got, all this experience Sensabaugh's got. I mean, solid, proven guys behind, that have played in guts of NBA games, started them, finished them, and had big games. So all of a sudden,
great 8-man rotation right there.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty nice, right? And then you still got, and the reason you've got to do this tank, right? Because you still got one pick sitting there that you've earned. You've earned it over the last 4 years. So to abandon that now would be idiotic.
It would be asinine, right?
But you add, but it sucks. I get it. But you now add somebody 1 through 8 to that lineup, man. I mean, and say, lightning strikes and somehow, some way they move up in the lottery instead of down. You're in the top 5 possibly this year. So, dude, it could get crazy cool really fast.
The coach, Tim LaComb, joining us here. We've got Jazz basketball in 45 minutes. You're going to get the pregame where we'll also be able to hear Coach. Real quick, this Heat game tonight.
I'm sorry we got to take you off the air. I know you hate that.
Well, I'm listen,
Short and shows.
I got stuff to say, and I'm not allowed to say it as soon as it hits 4:30 because then we turn it over to you guys. So we'll let you take over. I'm okay with that. But this Heat game, what do the Heat bring to this one, and can they have a similar type of a night that they did against Orlando? They led that game for so long, and I know they kind of lost it at the very end, but I think we all looked at it and went, oh, that's kind of nice. A nice game by those guys. What do you expect tonight out of the Jazz versus the Heat?
Well, with the Heat, the number one thing that they bring to the table is pace. They are the fastest playing team in the NBA since 1991-92 Golden State Warriors under Don Nelson. So they get the ball across half court, make or miss faster than anybody else in the league. So that was really quite a shock to the Jazz when they played them here in Salt Lake. They really take advantage if you're not sprinting pretty much in transition all the time. So they got to handle their pace. And I think from a personnel standpoint, I'm excited to see, Will experiment a little bit with the things he runs. Some really fun action the other night that I had not seen this year. And, and we'll see which Jazz guy's going to have that big night. Guys, Collier had 22 assists. Recently, Sensabaugh's had a game of over 40. The rebounding that Flip's been doing, I think he's had 16 in the last two games. So I'm just excited to watch these guys develop and continue to get better and kind of form as a team.
The coach, Tim LaComb, nice enough to join us here before you're going to hear him in about 45 minutes on the pregame right here on your radio dial. So, Coach, we appreciate it, man, and have fun tonight with this one, and we'll talk to you again.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
There you go.
Coach. The Jazz, man.
Yeah, you got to settle down. You got to get on board. You're asking for too much.
You want me to get on board?
What's going on with this team? They're melting down. We're like, I know. Come on, we want them to melt down a little bit.
We all know what they're doing, but it's just like it's so blatant now. It's like obvious and terrible. And I'm just like, how do you coach that?
Christian,
How do Jaren Jackson Jr. that's what we're doing? You come in and trade.
Did we? Were we able to confirm that the Jazz wins for Vegas have been taken off the board because they're like, all right,
FanDuel.
I checked FanDuel's site. Hopefully I don't get flagged here at work. They're still up there, but the rumor on Twitter was that FanDuel had removed the win totals for the Jazz, the Kings, the Wizards, and some of these other tanking teams for the remainder of the season.
Tankers.
Well, it is. I mean, look, if something is going to get flagged, not just you're visiting that website, but like they're looking at it and they're going, we've got a lot of money on the line here. And when you know what the situation's going to be for these teams and you know how it's going to go and you take the late year under on the teams that want the under and are trying to make the under kind of happen, then, it's as good as when they have those games where there's and they just take the scores off the board because there's some external situation that makes the picks almost impossible to have kind of any sort of non-bias, then you do it. So there you go. All right. We'll come back. We've got more to go. Got our weekend warriors around the corner, people who won the weekend for us. Stay here. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.